What's going on, everyone? My name is Ekuegan. You can find me at twitch.tv/Ekuegan if you like to. Today's video, I'm going to go over my Druid build. I call it the Fartnado, aka, I'm a wolf and I'm just letting my farts rip. If you watch the channel, you've probably seen this thing in action. So I'm going to take us to a tier 59 dungeon. You can kind of see this thing in action. Then I'll explain how the class works, and I'll go over what I have on my armor real quick. And I have a link in the description for you to see the entire build, what I have on it, and maybe what you would prefer on it. So let's get this show on the road. An elite? What elite? What elite? You know? What elite? My God, these numbers are amazing. If you're out there and you're trying to do something like this, let's go over my build, all right? Also, even if the butcher shows up, you're going to probably crank the soldier boy on him as well, okay? So one neat thing to kind of pay attention to usually is your stats and where you have them. You want to make sure that crit strike and crit strike damage is one of those things that's very active for you as well. But I'll go over all of that in a second here. Now, in terms of gear, you're going to need the Tempest Roar unique helm for this build. And I'm basically going to recommend you doing nightmares, especially for Goran slums, okay? Goran slums, you're going to be fighting cannibals. They can drop you two-handed axe, one-handed axe, or helmets. This is good for you because you're going to be running a one-handed axe this build. One-handed axe is what I went for, and I also went for it because I like the damage to healthy enemies. Then I can go for vulnerable, I can go for willpower, I can go for crit strike with werewolf skills. This is, basically what I have on my axe here. Now, there's a few aspects that also make this whole build come together. One of those first ones is called Grizzly Rage. This aspect is called Dire's Wolf, okay? Grizzly Rage now shapeshifts you into a dire werewolf. As a dire werewolf, you gain movement speed instead of damage reduction and spirit cost reduction bonus. In addition, kills heal you for 10% of your maximum life. So it is nice to build into your life as well because you're going to have this aspect also help you heal. And you're going to see that, yes, I am a wolf when I go into form, but the reason why I'm becoming a wolf is because I have Grizzly Rage here, but this aspect is doing it for me. This build is also going to have you fortified. So having something like the aspect of retaliation is going to be nice because you deal up to a certain amount of percentage damage based on the amount that you fortify. Next, I have critical strikes with core skills increase your attack speed. That means that you can let these farts go. You can let these wolf farts just basically, you let it rip, okay? One of the main things into this build that I'm talking about too is lucky hits. Lucky hit is going to be something that you want to look into, okay? So lucky hit chance bonus, it increases the chance of triggering lucky hit effects when your skills deal damage, okay? So your base lucky hit chance varies per skill. If we're looking at each skill, you'll notice my Storm Strike is at 35%, right? My Tornado's at 11, okay? My Hurricane's at 34. My Cyclone's at 35. My Blood Howl, as long as I kill, right, it reduces the cooldown of my Blood Howl by 1 second. So putting all these things together is going to make this work. Now, on my weapon, you'll notice that I have the Tornado seeking up to 3 targets. This is really good because you don't just want to put your farts out there and they don't go after any target. You want it to, actually go after targets and do a huge amount of damage. All right. Now, on my offhand, the duration of Grizzly Rage is increased by a certain amount of seconds. In addition, critical strikes while Grizzly Rage is active increases my critical strike damage by 10%. So before this video ends, I'm probably going to go into another group, right? And I'm going to put out these tornadoes, and I'm going to go into my inventory, and I'm going to show you what my crit damage is going to turn into. Because this number here that you see is going to go up exponentially. There are times where I've seen almost 2,000. That's not a neat thing to have. On my boots, there's the aspect of Ghostwalker. While I'm unstoppable for 4 seconds, I gain 25% increased movement speed, and I can move freely through enemies. Now you're gonna ask me, where do you get the unstoppable from? Ladies and gentlemen, the main build is with Grizzly Rage. You shipped into an unstoppable werewolf. Of course, it says bear here, but remember, we're using the aspect of dire wolf. So now you're turning into an unstoppable werewolf for about 18 seconds, about 17.5 seconds, right? This is where this synergy works together. Because you're unstoppable, you get to move, and you can go through anything. But another neat thing about being unstoppable, if you don't know this, is you can't be frozen, you can't be hit by any of the elite stuff that like makes you like run away. None of that stuff works on you when you're unstoppable, which allows you to be aggressive and get up in their face. Now, another neat thing here that I'm using, you'll notice that on my gear, I'm using the blue gems. I get damage reduction while I'm fortified. Another neat thing here is having this aspect of vigorous. So I gain a certain percentage of damage reduction while I'm shapeshifted into a werewolf. That means that I can tank a bit more. You'll notice in the link that I'm going to put for my build, everything that I was looking for on each piece of armor. I don't have the best things, but I'm very close to them. Lucky hit chance, if you need to know exactly where it can roll, it's going to be your gloves, it's going to be your 2 rings, and your offhand weapon. Now, in terms of the chest, there's a chest piece out there that I spoke about. I actually even put in a note. It's called the Mad Wolf's Glee. All right, it's the werewolf unique chest piece. If you want to use that until you get an actual good legendary chest piece, you should, because it does give you 2 more ranks for your wolf skills. And remember, everything here has turned into wolf skills, even your tornado. So that is something that you might want to look into. But once you find a good chest piece, you're going to put the aspect of disobedience on there, which means that you're gaining increased armor whenever you deal any form of damage. Remember, your tornadoes are going to be out there, so you're going to be getting a bunch of armor while you're doing this. And last but not least, the Temperature helmet, it just comes with what it comes with, and you know there's not much you can kind of do about that. Let's go into the next fight, and I kind of want to show when this gets ramped up, right, what your critical strike damage actually goes up to. You'll also notice while you're playing this that when you go into your grizzly mode, you're going to be moving really quickly. Always remember to use your howl, because that is going to speed up your abilities. And that guy's already dead. I think I already lost the chance to even show you guys the crit strike damage going up. Yeah, because everything died. Unfortunate. But if you're out there, this build you can use for up close, you can use from far. So if you feel like there's a tunnel of enemies right in front of you, you can go to doors, back up, and then start shooting your tornadoes at that like direction, and it will go through and it will kind of shred everything that's in your way. This playstyle is a bit funky when you're going up in, you know, in Nightmare Dungeons, but once again, I was able to go up to 70 and kind of chill with this build. As long as I paid attention and as long as I have my Grizzly Rage up, I was unstoppable and I was able to take on any elites at any point. So if you're out there and you need to understand how this whole thing works, definitely come check me out at twitch.tv/Ekuegan. But one neat thing that you always want to have up is Cyclone Armor, because if you feel like you're getting surrounded, you don't have Grizzly Rage yet, when you pop this, it's going to knock enemies back. Usually what I'll do is, if I knock enemies back, I'll have the Hurricane in front of me so that anything that walks into it gets slowed. So you can see all these guys are running up to me. If I pop this, you saw that? They're all vulnerable, and now they're backing away. Now, Grizzly Rage allows me to not be affected by any of these effects that they're putting out here. And as you can see, the tornado is just shreds through. Ooh, you see that, right? You saw my crit strike damage? It is at 1293. And what I'm saying is this goes up even more, okay? So I'm glad I was able to show you that in this video. But when you get into fights, this thing ramps up. And as it's ramping up, make sure you're using your Blood Howl, because it also increases your attack speed by 15%. I believe whatever your crit damage is, your base crit damage, the game allows up to maybe 1,000 extra. But I'm gonna have to go back and like kind of revisit those. But yeah, if you're out there, this is my my werewolf tornado build. And if you have any questions, you can find me at twitch.tv/Ekuegan. Don't forget to Leave a like if you like the video. Leave a comment. And then don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'll see you out there. Deuces.